Hello everybody and welcome to a special edition of the podcast, A Beard Maketh the Man, where we are going to talk about an event we went to for EVE Valkyrie Warzone this week.
Hello, welcome back.
Lammy is here. So, we just got back from this event. We were invited out very kindly by Weplay and by CCP. They flew us out to Cologne in Germany just before Gamescom to take a look at EVE Valkyrie Warzone, which is an expansion for EVE Valkyrie, which is coming out on September the 26th this year. So EVE Valkyrie is a game that's been out for about a year already, about a bit over a year, maybe 16 months, and it's been in VR only up till now. It's a spaceship fighting game, and we're gonna have some footage of the event and of in-game footage playing in the background while we chat today. So take a look at that if you're watching on YouTube instead of on iTunes or whatever. But we went out to this event and it's been out on VR for a while already. Now it is coming to PS4 and PC, so that's kind of why we were there, as people who play war games and also play on PlayStation 4.
Yeah, we've got a very good military background.
We have solid military background. We know lots about spaceships. They took us over there. But it was a fantastic event. We just got back. We thought we'd record while it was still fresh in our noggins and kind of tell you what we know and what we thought about the game and the event and our time in Germany and that kind of thing.
It was great.
It was great.
It's the first game I've ever played in VR, and it feels like it was a pretty good game to start with as well. I was expecting the only thing I'd really heard about VR was the sickness and stuff like that, but I don't really get. I think it affects more people who kind of get motion sickness and things like that, and I'm generally alright with that. But they were talking to me beforehand about how they might go about kind of fixing those kind of bugs and changing the map layout and things in the distance and things like that. But yeah, I kind of jumped in. You get the old space goggles on.
Yep, this is PS4 VR that we were using.
PS4 VR, which is kind of good really, because we're kind of used to the older PS4 controllers and things like that. So it was quite an easy transition. Saying that, when you've got the goggles on, I hadn't even anticipated not being able to see the controllers. And she was like, "Oh yeah, it's X to do this, and it's square to that." I'm like having to peek out under, like, okay, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
what
you
I
don't
know
really play on PlayStation, do you?
No.
So you wouldn't even know those. Yeah.
But
I was okay with those ones, but when it was like press the option button, I was like, "Oh, which one's they always change the names every year." It's like now it's
the big
now
one.
It's start, now it's option, now it's back, now it's menu. It's like I don't know.
But yeah, the game as a whole, I really enjoyed it. It's like it's because with games, at first I really enjoy any game. I'm not sure how I'd feel about the game maybe in a few months from now if it kind of stayed the same. The game modes I really enjoyed. They were kind of very varied, but they threw us quite in the deep end as well. There's no tutorial.
No, there is a tutorial in the game, but we didn't do it. We just went straight. So the setup was they had, I think it was 5-on-5, these kind of booth banks of PS4s, and I think we were in teams of 5 against each other, basically with other influencers, YouTubers, streamers, or whatever, who were there. So we all kind of got sat down, and they had us in a private lobby or something, and we just did lots of battles against each other. They told us all about the game first of all, and then sat us down. We had a go. Then we gave them some feedback and played a bit more. So we got to do like a bunch of different game modes. Which were really fun. It reminded me a lot of Tanks in its kind of sort of quick pick up and play, quick battle kind of vibe. For most of them, there was one game mode that was a bit longer, but it was generally, it was that kind of game where you're like, right, I want to play, turn it on, minute later you can be in a battle, have a battle for 10-15 minutes, and then it's done, which was nice.
There was a space skitball kind of thing. I'm not sure. I don't think it was called space skitball, but
it wasn't. We coined it. Yeah, it was some sort of because the traditional game mode was, there's just killing each other in deathmatch, and you can also respawn it. So when you get blown, there's a bunch of different ships you can pick from. They're broken down into things that kind of they compared them to the traditional classes in FPS games like Battlefield or COD. So you had like a kind of support type ship, an assault type ship, a sniper type ship, And then there were also more interesting ones, like ones that would buff or debuff, enemies and friendly shields.
Yeah, they had kind of like special abilities. It was a bit like Overwatch in that kind of aspect, where you get like specials, where if you kill people or do the objective, you'll get you can boost your special and unleash it.
Kind of
be like
build up your combo meter, and eventually you can do your superpower sort of thing.
Not that we were good enough to kind of
Not that I ever got anywhere near that, no. But yeah, so there's a whole bunch of different ships you can use, which are cool. You can upgrade those as you progress through the game. We didn't really get to experience that kind of long sort of play style of the game, but we just did a bunch of battles. But it's good. Yeah, different game modes. There was the death match. There's one where there's like capture points that you have to kind of drop drones at, and they capture those, and you shoot the enemy drones. There was the space skitball one where you have to pick up this kind of big glowing orb and then take it through a goal, which Lamb was awesome at.
Oh my god, I was the ace,
the Mac Daddy of space skitball.
The quarterback, the QB.
He was the QB. And and there was the other one. There was like a destroy a big ship thing. Like so, Eve Online this isn't the same game as Eve Online. Eve Online is a different, totally separate game to Eve Valkyrie. It's made by the same people, by CCP, but this CCP based in Newcastle in the UK for Valkyrie, I believe. But yeah, so it's separate, but it's the same kind of universe is the idea, but different game. And you're flying these like little ships, having these little battles. But one of the game modes is like a big ship, and one of the teams has to kind of defend it, and the other one has to destroy it, basically, right?
Yeah, it felt like Star Wars and that kind of X-wing versus TIE fighter thing, where you make the run, you got to kind of get the shields down, do a bit of damage, and then if you get it down enough, then you have to go for the core. But obviously the first time you go at it, it's a bit confusing, but I think after a few goes you kind of get to know where things are and things like that. But that's all part of the fun of it, is learning where things are, and the confusion is often, in my case, the funniest bit, where you kind of get some kind of funny things that happen. Mostly just driving to the ship or not knowing.
Just crashing.
I crashed a lot.
It
was just crazy. Yeah, it was great.
The crashing's pretty cool. When you die, your windscreen kind of cracks, and your inside of your cockpit gradually sort of freezes, and you'll freeze, which looks particularly cool in VR, because you can look down with the headset in VR and see your body in the flight suit, and you can look around and see the cockpit and stuff. So you can look down and see yourself, freezing to death in the cold,
not flinching
depths
once
of space. Yeah, without moving. I kept looking down, expecting to see my arms moving when I moved my arms, but that's not really how VR works. So but yeah, it looked incredible in VR. It was really, really impressive. But yeah, it's a cool game. I'm interested to see how people from our community might engage with it once it comes out on PS4, and how popular it might be. It was certainly, I felt like I might struggle to enjoy it as much as I did, really, because it was such an unknown to me. I haven't really played like a space battle game like that much before. And it's, when there's, the HUD is all very visual, and there's a lot of stuff going on the screen, and the controls, there's a lot of complexity to the controls, but I was able to kind of, get by and enjoy myself, being a bit of a noob and just flying about and shooting a bit, and being pleased when I got a kill, or crashed into someone, or
most of the controls
died in a funny way.
Most of the controls do kind of lend themselves to general gameplay of any kind of shooter game, where what shoot is, what
to a degree, but you are also in 3 dimensions, which makes it a bit more difficult. And
I suppose if you're playing like an aeroplane game, it probably lends itself to that a bit more, maybe.
Yeah, kind of, but because you can kind of stop and turn on a sixpence pretty much, then it becomes a bit more like if you were just dudes who are kind of flying around in space, I guess, in a way. It's rather than airplanes. It's not like long, you can suddenly stop and go through tiny little gaps and then go or you can basically sit still, and you can do all sorts of stuff like that. But yeah, it's cool. I enjoyed it a lot. We got to play against some cool people. There were a bunch of other YouTubers and streamers there. We were pretty much the smallest channel there, I think.
The coolest, though.
The coolest and the hairiest, but the smallest
far.
by
Jesus,
by a way probably. But we ended up being teamed up against. The other team had
Stone Mountain
64. who I'm a big fan of. So that was really cool to meet him. A guy called Vicstar, who I hadn't heard of before, but he's a guy from Orpington, actually, which isn't too far from us in the UK. He's a pretty big YouTuber. He's got like 5-6 million subs or something. Quite a young guy. He was a nice dude. Who else there? Baron Von Games. I met him a couple of years at PAX. He does a lot. You guys might know him from doing lots of military games. I think he's done like War Thunder or whatever, one of those things, and maybe some sponsored tanks videos or something like that. And then who else on the team? The VR guy. I have to look up his name now. But
the Scouse man.
The Geordie. The Geordie.
Oh, the Geordie man.
The Geordie man, not Scouse.
No.
Awkward. But yeah, they were a cool team. It was cool to play against them. Vinny VR was the dude on the other team. So we were playing against them. That was good fun. It was pretty good seeing these pretty big, prestigious YouTubers and influencers sitting there with little old us.
Especially we don't know half of these people as well. We just kind of talk. It's probably felt a bit weird for them talking to someone that wasn't fanboying all over them and stuff like that.
I imagine they get that all the time though, because it's not like, that's what we've experienced, is that no one knows. There's so many big YouTubers in the world. There must be hundreds, thousands of YouTubers in the world with 1 million subs. No one knows who they all are. You could put, like I was saying to people there, you could put me in a room with the top 100 most subscribed gaming YouTubers in the world. I'd probably recognise like 3 of them, if that. And I'll probably forget their names. So I don't think that's too rare. But and it's nice when you don't know who these big people are. It's easier to talk if you know who they are, and you're like with Stone. I was a little bit like,
hi
Stone. But let's keep it cool. But, I really like the guy's content, and he's a very cool dude. So it's nice to get chatted. But we chatted to I think Lewis was saying we bumped into Lewis from the Yogscast, which was really cool. Just on the last day before we left, we were just kind of walking from the hotel and bumped into him, and we'd Lamb clocked him, and
they were double take.
Yeah, did a double take, and I was tying my shoes or something, and we were kind of walking the same way and crossing the road, and I wasn't gonna. I'm quite good at, like, if I see people that are kind of famous, or I know in a kind of famous way, I'm quite good at just talking to them, because I'm like, fuck it, I don't care if it might be a bit embarrassing, but whatever. I've got this one opportunity, I'm gonna go and say hello. And so I normally I kind of do that, but I thought, I looked over, and he had his sunglasses on. It's kind of the morning. He just left the hotel. He's looking at his phone. I thought, dude might be hungover, tired, might not want to chat, whatever. But then he just started chatting around. We were just walking along. He's like, oh, you're going to Gamescom, and Yogscast are basically the reason we started doing YouTube in the first place. We sat around watching Yogscast, and that kind of inspired us to start making our own channel where we play games with our mates and talked a bit of shit, and had a good time. And so it was really amazing to get to chat to Lewis. But my point was, what he was saying was like, I mentioned a couple of the big YouTubers that have been at our thing. He had never heard of them. Then he mentioned a couple of YouTubers he watched, and we'd never heard of them. So I think it's very much like,
oh God.
Yeah, I think that's very much the vibe. It's not like in the pop star world where your pictures are constantly shoved in magazines and TV on people's faces and shit, and people become like famous even if you don't,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of One Direction, but I know what most of them look like just because their faces are fucking everywhere all the time, Not the same with YouTubers, doesn't happen.
I know, but it was just weird that there was no one there fanboying over them. That was the point I was trying to make. Everyone was pretty chill and happy with each other's company.
It was an influencer event,
Yeah.
It was an influencer event. So they were, they had some of the game devs there. They had some of the people from the people who run the more sort of social side of CCP and Valkyrie. They had some of the guys from Weplay who kind of organised the event itself, and then the influencers there. Mighty Jingles was there, which was cool. I didn't know he was going to be there. We just got to the...
What a guy.
He just turned up at the hotel. Like, we flew in on the Sunday night. The event was on the Monday. Flew in on the Sunday. Got to the hotel about 11 o'clock, half 11, and just sort of walking in from outside. I was like, oh, Mighty Jingles is standing in there. And then saw Shaheen, formerly known as Saberwing, who used to work for Wargaming, who's the guy who sort of organised it all. And it turned out Mighty Jingles been invited over as well. So that was a nice little treat. See the big J-Man.
It was.
J
We had
Dizzle.
something in common.
Yeah, it's good. And it gave us an extra, it's an extra person there that we all kind of knew. And I don't think Jingles really knew any of the other people there as well. So it was good for us all to have like an extra buddy to chat to. And he's always got a good story to tell. And
do you know, bringing it back to the game, do you know if this game is going to be, because I know EVE Online is a subscription-based game.
Yeah.
Is this game going to be a separate kind of thing, or do you know if it's going to be...
it's not a subscription-based game. It's not like free-to-play or sub-based. It's just a one-off purchase game, yeah. Okay. Like, I think they said in that
hadn't thought about until now.
Yeah, they said in that meeting when they did that PowerPoint thing at the beginning, he said...
I was daydreaming a lot in that meeting. I can't concentrate for more than about 20 seconds before I'm thinking about squirrels or something.
Yeah, I think they said it's going to cost like $30 or 30, I don't know, 30 something denomination of
it was
currency.
29.99 euros.
Yeah, and also if you already so Warzone is the expansion for EVE Valkyrie. They've already done some already. If you already owned EVE Valkyrie, then it's all just going to be for free. You don't have to pay for a new version or something.
I'd thoroughly recommend it if you can get it for free.
Yeah, well that's if you already own it. So,
I know.
Yeah. And I guess you would already own it if you've been playing it in VR. But yeah, I mean, £30 seemed like a good price point, considering the amount of money we waste on World of Tanks and stuff.
Yeah, you could get a tank for that, can't you?
You could almost get a tier 8 premium tank for that, yeah. So, but yeah, it's cool. I recommend checking out if that's your kind of thing. What else did we do there?
What did we do? We ate a lot of sausages.
We ate a lot of sausages. That was nice. We went for a lovely meal in the evening with
so many sausages,
with some of the influencers and the devs and that kind of thing.
A 1.2 kilogram pig knuckle.
Pork knuckle. Yep. It's got a big old.
Couldn't eat it all.
No.
Couldn't be done.
I couldn't remember how you got on with that.
Just not even very well.
Did you have the apple strudel? That was very nice.
I didn't. I don't like cinnamon. I had a little nibble because there was a spare one going. A little nibble, and there was cinnamon on it, and then Ben decided to lick the cinnamon off my bowl.
Oh yeah, I did do that.
I could tell that you'd had a few beers by then if you can't remember very well.
No, it's all coming back, yeah. I had a few beers.
Back.
We had a few beers.
But yeah, the whole experience in general was a very enjoyable one.
And it's kind of a first for us to both get to go to an event abroad like that. Obviously, we've both done Tank Fest before. And I got to go to PAX Prime a couple of years ago, which is the only time I've really been to a kind of gaming convention. So it was nice to get to go to one of those things. I mean, we didn't go to full-on Gamescom, so we haven't really done that. But it was cool to get to do one of these things both together for a new game somewhere we haven't been before. It was a really cool experience. I find when I do these events, they always kind of reinvigorate me a little bit in terms of the direction we're going with the channel and the types of my motivation to make content and that kind of thing. And it makes me see you're in that situation, you're thinking, wow, we're both here, we've been flown out to Germany, we're being put up in a hotel by this company because we sat down one day and decided to start making YouTube videos and people dug those. And so thank you to everyone for watching our videos and supporting us along the way. But yeah, it's really nice to, it makes you think, okay, we're very lucky to be in this situation, and, maybe makes you think about making sure you keep the quality high on stuff you're doing on the channel. It does for me anyway, but yeah.
No, I just daydream.
Just daydream. That's why we love you.
Daydream through life in general. I liked it. It felt like it was quite a festival vibe, I feel, because you kind of go to these things and everyone's got that one thing in common, the games. Yeah. And it helps that there was the Gamescom was also going on at the same time, so everyone you met, you knew you had at least one thing in common. Yeah. And you could just talk about games, and everyone was really passionate about the whole thing. And obviously when you're hanging around YouTubers or influencers, they've got quite big personalities anyway, so it's always easy to kind of get on with those people. Not that I spoke to that many people because I was just too busy daydreaming.
Too busy shoving sausages in your mouth.
2 at a time, by the dozen.
Yeah, we met. There are a whole bunch of really interesting people. They're obviously the ones I was fanboying over, and then there was Jingles, who we know. But there was a bunch of other random people we met that were very cool. We were talking to one guy about EVE Online a lot. A guy called Bjorn was really interesting. Bjorn B, I think is his Twitch.
Such a funny guy.
Yeah, guy from Iceland. Would you believe it? Yeah, he was just telling us stories about EVE Online. It sounded fascinating. I don't know too much about EVE. I know it's a thing that's been around for a long, long time. But it's super interesting hearing about the scale of some of the things people do with hundreds of players organising you know, to do stuff together. It was really, it's a whole nother subject, but it was super interesting to hear what he had to say about that, and so, you know, the Eve devs and stuff were all really interesting, nice people as well. It was really nice to chat to them, and is it Red Shade, the community manager lady?
Yep.
She was really cool as well. But yeah, it was a really nice event. It had a really nice vibe to it. It was very casual. I didn't really know what to expect, I guess, maybe. Whether, you know, they weren't trying to push any kind of, you know, I guess, agenda or whatever. They weren't, you know, making you do anything particularly. It's just kind of, you know, do what you want, come here.
It's very laid back.
Play the game.
They want any feedback. They're not like, oh, please tell us how good this game is. It's like,
yeah.
If anything, they want negative feedback so they can help fix the game.
Yeah,
they didn't have colorblind mode. That was my only thing I was annoyed about.
Which is kind of a big deal for a game that's so visual like that. So I think that was very good feedback for them.
Yeah.
For them to get.
Yeah. For me.
So well done, Lamb. Maybe you'll get a cut of the profits.
Maybe I'll get, I don't know, a Mars bar. They'll mail me a Mars bar for
You'll
that.
get an apple strudel.
Let the cinnamon off this.
But yeah, Cologne was very nice. Nice place. Nice hotel. I mean, with the area we were was pretty industrial. But we went for we saw the cathedral. They've got a big cathedral there.
Yeah.
You know, it was nice.
Yeah, it was
cool. I've seen some big cathedrals before, so...
Yeah, we live near a cathedral, I suppose.
It's England, so you're a bit spoilt for...
Cathedrals.
Architecture. just
old
castles
buildings.
and cathedrals and stuff everywhere.
By the
so you're like,
dozen.
oh yeah, they got a castle. I guess that's cool.
Nice one.
But yeah, it's very nice. Everyone was very friendly and nice, and good beer, good sausage.
I didn't get to order beers in German. They were just given to me
No.
by the dozen.
Yeah.
Was it Zwei Bier Bitter? Is that how you say it?
Yeah. I think
Yes.
so. Yeah.
I remembered.
If you want to double stack. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, we hardly had to spend any money. We just got plied with beer. This isn't a sponsored video, but they did buy us a lot of beer. So
Yeah, maybe we
I
should
guess
say that at the beginning of the video.
I said, you know, they paid for our flights and our hotel. It's all out there. But yeah, no, it's a fun event. Very happy to do it. I really loved doing those events. I'd love to do more of them in the future. I'm sure one day it'll be awkward if we get flown out and play something really crap. But then, you know, we could just say it was really crap, and we probably won't be going to any more events to them again. But no, this one was fun. I enjoyed it a lot. You know, it was nice sitting there playing it with mates and with other people and
New friends. Chums.
our new chums.
New friends.
So yeah, it's good. And you guys, you know, let us know what you thought of this in the comments. Hopefully it's been interesting for you. Maybe to see how it's going and experiencing something a bit different. We're not going to be, you know, throwing out tons of Eve videos or anything like that, but it's nice to, I think it adds a bit of maybe variety to the channel. You know, it's a bit more, something different to talk about, something different to think about. That's outside right. of our, you know, normal little corner of the internet that we occupy.
Yeah, we've all got games in common. We all enjoy playing games. Hopefully, maybe sometime in the future we'll be able to maybe do some live streams or something with some of the guys that we met.
Yeah,
hopefully Bjorn.
Absolutely.
Maybe
yeah.
get him talking about Eve, because that was, for me, well, for us, it was very interesting. The stories he was telling.
It was, yeah.
Just the dedication as well. The amount of time you have to put in is just another level. It's
pretty
crazy.
serious, yeah.
But yeah, hopefully got that to look forward to in the future. But yeah,
good times.
I'm happy.
I'm happy too. I'm glad we're both happy. Sweet. All right, guys. Well, yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Hopefully, it gave you a nice little summary of Eve Valkyrie at Warzone and our experiences in Cologne playing it.
It's in the game.
It's in the game. It's not an EA game. I don't know why he's saying that.
It's in the butt.
It's sure. But yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Thanks for listening, everyone. Hope you're all well. We'll catch up soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.